the high percentage of AIDS in the country, they might also be sending out the message that it's okay to have protected sex and also be helping to control the percentage of AIDS. And that's where the sectarian institutions come in. They feel that by distributing condoms, it would be degrading to the moral fibers of the youth. But we must also take into consideration that manufacturers have a right to sell their products via freedom of speech. But also with freedom of speech, although an unalienable right, it has its barriers. These barriers meaning you can't just say anything you want to say. For example, you can't just go to an airport and say there's a bomb. You can't just say that there's a kid carrying a gun at school. Those are the barriers. Now, our stance is not for the complete ban, but rather the regulation of the condom distribution. The condom distribution should be regulated in a way that it would be appropriate for the private, the public sector, but also for the sectarian institutions and the government.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As my partner has said, our stand is for regulation. Why? Because through regulation, the state can protect the interests of all parties involved. According to the Constitution, the state shall protect and promote the right to health of the people and instill health consciousness among them. Now, to instill health consciousness among them, one of the best ways is to use mass communication. And this is the specialty of advertising. Simply put, advertisers really want to sell their products. Now, one of the ways they do this is through using sex or sexism. And in that light, sectarian institutions have a legitimate concern. Because in doing so, in these advertisements, we might be subtly dehumanizing, let's say, women or the act of sex itself. Now, through regulation, the state can protect the interests of everyone. Number one, they can ensure that the people are informed through legislation, that not only do advertisers sell their product, they also inform the people of their choices and their options. Secondly, the state can also protect the morals of the people, because even though there is such a thing, the concept of separation of church and state, the state still has a responsibility to protect the morals of its people. And lastly, it would not infringe the rights of manufacturers to promote and sell their products. After all, condoms are legitimate products. It's a legitimate business. It's not like marijuana, which is illegal. Condoms have both positive and negative effects. It is only when something is deemed to have only noxious effects do we ban them. And lastly, we should always emphasize information and freedom of choice. These two things are inimical to any democracy. In fact, those two things are the foundation for democracy. A democracy, we all know, is the rule of the people. However, a democracy might fail if the people are under or misinformed. Therefore, through regulation, the government can further not only its interests, but also the interests of the public, the private sector, and sectarian institutions. Thank you for listening, and we will now accept questions from the panel as they deem necessary.